When it comes to movie transformations, there's regular CGI, there's good CGI, and then there's the kind of wild, bone-cracking, skin-ripping, flame-erupting metamorphosis scenes that make you sit there questioning your own skeleton, like, bro, please don't try any of this at home. And today we're counting down the top 10 most detailed transformations in movie history, the ones that went so hard they didn't just change the character. They changed you as a person, starting off at number 10 with The Fly, 1986. Because nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, prepares you for Jeff Goldblum slowly deteriorating like a biology experiment that was graded F, but still submitted for extra credit. Because this transformation is not a single moment. It's a whole tragic slow-burn decay of a man whose DNA decided to remix itself with a housefly and drop the most disgusting mixtape ever released. With fingernails falling off, skin peeling like old wallpaper, bones softening, muscles warping, and vomit that dissolves people. What a flex. And the detail is so insane you can practically smell the body horror. And you just sit there like, yes, practical effects were unhinged in the 80s. And speaking of unhinged practical effects, number 9 goes to An American Werewolf in London, 1981. The granddaddy of transformation scenes. The moment every werewolf movie has tried and failed to replicate, because this transformation doesn't hide behind shadows or quick cuts. It lingers, it zooms in, it forces you to watch bones elongate and skin stretch like rubber bands about to snap, hair sprouting in fast forward, joints rearranging themselves like someone scrambled his skeleton. And the guy is screaming the entire time because he is literally experiencing full-body demolition in HD before HD even existed. And everyone else just had to accept they would never beat this level of craftsmanship again. But coming in at number 8, we have Spawn, 1997, one of the most underrated visually chaotic supernatural transformations ever put on screen, where Al Simmons basically gets thrust into hell's hottest celebrity makeover, burned alive until his skin melts off like candle wax, bones exposed, flesh bubbling, and hellfire stitching his corpse back together into a demonic armored soldier. And listen, even if the CGI hasn't aged like fine wine, the creativity and detail in the transformation sequence are absolutely wild. Like the director said, what if Ghost Rider, but with extra suffering? And the result is a painfully brutal rebirth scene where every part of his body is destroyed and rebuilt like a Windows update that takes 100% CPU. And speaking of smooth transformations, sliding into number 7 is Mystique from the X-Men series, who said, what if shapeshifting was done in 4K with 10,000 tiny blue scales flipping like a digital wave? Because Mystique's transformation is one of the most iconic visual effects ever created. The way her scales ripple across her body. With that metallic shimmer, her features gliding from one identity to another like a living hologram. And the detail is so clean it should be illegal. And honestly, she's the only character who could walk into a room as your mom, your best friend, your boss, and your dog, all within 10 seconds, without missing a beat. But now we move into the heavy hitters, because number 6 is Van Helsing turning into a werewolf in Van Helsing, 2004. A transformation so violent, so bone-snappingly extra, and so aggressively early 2000s that it still hits harder than half the CGI in movies today, because Hugh Jackman basically explodes into a giant wolf with bones breaking, spine stretching, muscles bulging, and skin tearing open like wrapping paper on Christmas. And the way the transformation slams between pain and pure rage is cinematic gold, like the world's angriest werewolf just respawned from the depths of frustration. And honestly, the werewolf design is so iconic it deserved its own movie. But we're not stopping there, because number 5 is Abomination in The Incredible Hulk, 2008. One of the most beautifully disgusting transformations in superhero movie history, where Tim Roth goes from regular human to terrifying bone-spiked creature, with ribs popping out, spine lengthening, muscles twisting into monstrous knots, and veins bulging like they're trying to escape his body. And this transformation is basically, what if the Hulk but make it feral, with every limb stretching like a pulled rubber glove, every bone rearranging itself like it's filing a complaint. And the detail is absolutely insane. You can see the texture of the skin tightening, the sweating, the trembling, the raw physical resistance his body puts up before finally surrendering to the monster inside. And speaking of the Hulk, number 4 belongs to Bruce Banner himself in Hulk, 2003, and The Incredible Hulk, 2008. And yes, both count, because both deliver legendary transformations for different reasons. 2003. Hulk gives us the emotional, surreal, almost dreamlike transformation where Bruce's fear and rage literally blow him up like a balloon of pure muscle, stretching clothes, expanding bones, and shifting faces that morph with pain and anger. While the 2008 Hulk gives us the ultra-detailed, high-definition transformation where you see every muscle fiber, every vein, every skin ripple, and even his bones popping like they're trying to run from his body. And that's why Banner's transformation is iconic. It's not one moment. It's a legacy of pain, rage, and shirt destruction unmatched by any other hero. But now we enter the top 3, where transformations stop being transformations and start being cinematic biblical events, starting with number 3. The Wolfman, 2010, arguably the most painful-looking werewolf transformation ever filmed, where we get an up-close montage of fingers extending and snapping into claws, teeth elongating through bleeding gums, skin ripping as hair bursts out legs, contorting backward, spine cracking outward, and every single part of his body breaking and rebuilding itself like a cursed biology lesson. And this transformation is so brutally detailed it makes you cringe in the best way, like bro should not be alive after this. But somehow he is, and somehow he looks amazing, and the CGI still holds up beautifully. But as insane as that is, number 2 goes even harder because we're talking about Ghost Rider, 2007, the supernatural transformation that made everyone in the theater go, "Excuse me." Because Nicolas Cage literally screams his soul out while his flesh melts away like wax, his skull catches fire, his bones glow, his spine becomes a flaming whip, and his entire body becomes a burning supernatural skeleton of vengeance. And what makes it so detailed is the layered transformation. You see the veins boiling, the skin cracking, the fire erupting from inside like hell is bursting through his pores, and by the time the skull is fully exposed and engulfed in flame, you're like, yeah, that's cinema. But now we reach number 1, your champion, the King of Kings, the transformation that steps on all the others with flaming boots. Ghost Rider's full Hellfire transformation. The moment where every frame looks like a heavy metal album cover, every bone ignites with hell's rage. And the detail is so insane it goes beyond CGI and becomes art. Because this is not just a man turning into a demon rider. It is a full supernatural rebirth, a combustion of flesh and soul, a violent eruption of hellfire that strips away humanity and replaces it with pure vengeance. And the way the flames peel back his skin, the skull begins to glow. The fire swirls like a cyclone, and the entire body reshapes itself into a skeletal engine of destruction. This transformation deserves number 1 because nothing else looks like it, nothing else feels like it, and nothing else combines body horror, supernatural spectacle, and comic book energy in a single moment as perfectly as Ghost Rider. And there you have it, 10 transformations that didn't just change the characters, they changed cinematic history, they changed expectations, and honestly, they changed the way we look at our own bones, because after watching all of these, every tiny crack in your joints suddenly sounds suspicious. But one thing's for sure, movie transformations will never stop evolving. And as long as filmmakers keep pushing boundaries, we're going to keep getting moments that make us gasp, cringe, and rewind just to see the madness again.